Jim Pritchard.
Had enough of that.
No.
We smell golden retriever.
Brandon Seth, yes.
Present.
Tom Kilpeck. Peter Mantillo, yes. I don't know, is Mike Jones on? You see him on? No?
No.
Jan, from Chittenden,
Bob
Here.
is also on.
and Bob. Case.
Yep, Bob Case here.
All right, Clarendon, Craig Knapp, Matt Jakubowski.
Matt's
Nope.
here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Matt is here. Danby, Shelley Taylor, Tom Johnson. Fairhaven, Jim Heller, Bill Humphreys. Hubbardton, Rick Rabowski, Michael Wetmore. Ira, Bob Toppin, Dan Perry. Killington's vacant. Mendon, Val Taylor, Lima Carter. Middletown Springs. Robin, Chestnut Tangerman. Robert McMahon. Okay. Mount Holly, Jeff Chase. Billy Austin.
Oh, there we go.
Let's see, Mount Tabor vacant, Paul at Bob Morlino.
Okay.
Jonathan Weiss or Weiss.
No, he's not here.
Pittsburgh, Tim Cornell. Steve
Nope,
Short.
Matthew Trombley is here.
Gotcha, Matt.
We got you, Matt.
Well, technically, he's not a voting member yet because I
Yeah.
didn't get the renewal form, so.
All right,
Gotcha.
Polney, Paul Donaldson. Aaron Kerber. Proctor, Judy Frazier. Kevin Belangi. Rutland City, Bill Lovett. Here. Dan Gedney. Rutland Town, Martin Wasserman. Bill Sweet. Shrewsbury, Aaron Corzon. Jack Perry. Here. Right, Jack. Sudbury vacant. Timoth, Matt Patry, or Ray Pratt.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Wallingford, Jim Bagnell. Bill Weiss. Wells, Todd Fenton. Here. Don Bruce. West Haven, Rod Ethier.
Rod's been
Gary,
replaced by me.
What?
Rod's been replaced by Carrie Ellis.
Yeah, I didn't get that form in until like earlier this week, so I didn't have time to make
Okay.
the changes.
Okay, so Carrie Ellis is not here?
No, Carrie is here.
Carrie's here.
There he is.
No, Rod.
Oh, Rod isn't here. Gotcha.
And then, actually, so both members of West Haven are here because Josh, Wood is the new person,
Oh, where's
for
Josh?
emergency
Is
services.
Josh up here?
Yep, he is.
All right, so I'll put him in there. All right, West Rutland, Mary Ann Goulette. Michael Skaza. All right, non-voting members, who do we have here? Matt Proudy. Right?
I don't have my name tag, so.
Bob Schlatter's not here. Maggie is here. Eric Pulver, is he here? Eric
is here.
Eric
I'm here. Yeah, I'm on virtual today.
and Bill Jones. Anybody else that I left out for non-voting members?
He's the proxy for Polney.
Okay, so.
See, Mike Jones is here from,
Is Mike
yeah,
here?
Just not
Mike's on,
Yep.
online.
All right, so what's your name again, sir?
Joel Roberts.
Joel Roberts from Pulteney.
Lori's on prices.
Right.
Yeah, you got Joel's name, did you write his name down?
I did.
Who else was it you just said?
Mike joined us.
I
Mike
got Mike.
And
You said
Lori Z
Laura.
from Rutland Mental Health.
All right, did I miss anybody that's online? That showed up when I was doing roll call? Who's the 1802 one there? Who's that? The third one?
That is Matt Trombley, and so he's the new EMD for Pittsburgh. He has not officially been instated as an REMC member yet, though, so he is.
So I
not
can't put him down as I go.
Well, he can be written down as a non-voting member.
Should have gone to the meeting, Matt. You could have avoided this.
Anybody else on there that I missed? That I did not call their name, either non-voting or voting? All right. Look for a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
We do have some adjustments to make to it,
Okay,
Mr. Chairman.
Not the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
so looking for motion, the voting members looking for motion to approve the meeting agenda. Who was it?
Second.
You first. You. Todd.
Todd?
Jack Perry.
Jack Perry, got that? All right, any discussion or changes of the agenda? No discussions or changes, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? All right, we're gonna, looking for a motion to approve September 17, 2025 minute meetings.
We do have some adjustments.
Okay, let's make those adjustments before we approve it. What are they?
Section 5, Part A,
Section 5, Part A.
we're gonna change that at January 13, 2026 to a period,
Okay, so take the colon out,
please.
period there, got it?
Yep. Section 6, Part A,
Section 6, Part A.
instead of Michael Jones, it's Chair Jones.
Okay. All right,
And then, in A, Part 2, it would just be Morlino as statewide LEPC. Removing Bob.
removing the name, Bob?
Yes.
All right,
And then on Section 8.
Yeah.
We adjourned at 6:29 PM.
any other changes to the meeting minutes? Okay, look for a motion to accept to approve the September 17, 2025.
December.
I said September, didn't I?
It's December.
Oh, why is that why do I got September here?
Because we need to change that to December 17th.
Okay, there you go. All right, let's redo that again. Look for motion to approve the December 17, 2025 meeting minutes with the changes that we have made.
No, that's still right.
Is it September or December?
Oh, yeah, no, we're good.
We're good.
Yep, we're good.
So take it back to September.
Yep.
Okay,
So item 3 is September, but the minutes we're approving are of December 17th.
Correct.
There we go.
all right.
All right.
So I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes of December 17, 2025. Bill Lovett first, who's second?
Second.
Second. What's your
Jack
first name?
Perry.
Jack, I'm sorry.
No
Jack
problem.
Perry, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Aye.
All right. Open to the public. Is there? No, I'll take that back. On here. All right. Open to the public. Is there anybody from the public that wants to talk to us, present something? Who is that?
That's us.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just me putting stuff on the screen. My apologies.
Does anybody from the public want to address the committee? No? All right, let's go to number 5, REMC representative reports. I'll start off with state the statewide local emergency planning commission, LEPC rep Bob Morlino.
Okay. We had a meeting on our first quarterly meeting of the year on January 13th. We had 71 attendees. We're getting very good attendance at these meetings. Most of the attendees, or at least 60 of them anyway, are from industry people throughout the state of Vermont. And at that meeting, Chief McLaughlin from the hazmat team went over notable releases. Normally he goes over notable releases and exercises. We had no really large releases. We had, and this is just a few of them. Fuel oil spill in Arlington, a fuel oil truck rolled over. A box truck went off the highway into the river in Heartland, and the driver was fine, but there was a spill of diesel fuel in the river. So the hazmat team responded to that to put out booms. Another fuel tank leak in Essex. Rutland. In Rutland, we had a flooded chemical room. A sprinkler system went off and flooded a chemical room, and responded to that just to make sure that there were no chemical leaks, and there were none. Mail truck came in as an explosion, a mail truck explosion in South Burlington. It was fortuitous that the hazmat team was about to do some training in Williston with the bomb squad. And just as we were about to get going, as we were about to get going, the call came in. So this bomb squad and the hazmat team ended up going to South Burlington. The male person was in one of their small trucks, and he heard a pop and a hissing sound, and he ended up going to the hospital. Making a long story short, after a pretty big response, it turned out to be a dog repellent can that went off in the truck while he was in it. It took some time to figure that out, but it was eventually figured out. One of the other rather unusual calls was a UVM Medical Center called for a suspected, the lights went out here. I had to move. For a suspected anthrax, cutaneous anthrax on a person. So the hazmat team went to check out the soil that the hospital took off, just to make sure there was no anthrax, and there was none detected. And I'm not sure they actually confirmed that it was anthrax that he had. And you can get anthrax from he was a farmer, and you can get anthrax from animals. It's very rare, but it's possible. Exercises that are planned for 2026. These are exercises that are planned with industry. So we'll do an exercise with Beta Technologies, Perigo Nutritionals. We have one scheduled for Central Vermont Solid Waste District, one at Ben & Jerry's, and another one at Mac Molding in Arlington. So those are already scheduled. There'll probably be one or two more. Also during that meeting, we had any questions on any of those, by the way?
No.
All right. We had a presentation by CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, and they gave a presentation on protective security. There is a program called Protected Critical Infrastructure Information Program, and what they do is they'll go out to industry, and they will do an analysis of your infrastructure protection, not only cyber, but even physical protection, and they'll give you some ideas on things that you might want to change or upgrade. So that's available to industry. Well, no, I think not only industry, I think it's probably available to municipal governments as well. So, of course, it's free. It's the feds come in and they check on your physical and cybersecurity. It was a very interesting presentation. We have, in terms of training, we have trained, the hazmat team is going around the state as we do every year doing training for firefighters, hazmat training. So there was training at in Whiting, in Ferrisburg, Stratton, Vermont, Manchester, Vermont, Newport, Woodstock, Alburg, Barry City, Cambridge, Vermont, Shelburne, Warren, Wells River. And we have others that are scheduled coming up, but those were the fire departments that were trained, did training with us between our last meeting and this meeting. We probably trained, I would guess, probably 300 to 400 firefighters in that. I don't have the numbers, but I would, just knowing, because I did quite a few of these, probably 300 to 400 firefighters. I forgot, there was one up in Grand Isle as well. So Grand Isle can be added to that. That's all I have. The next meeting will be April 21st. Anybody in the room or on this meeting is welcome to attend. It's at 10 to 12. Most people attend it virtually, but there is an in-person, where we have to have an in-person place to have the meeting as well. And this time it's at Norwich Fire Department in Norwich, Vermont. Again, it's April 21st, 10 to 12. If anyone here wants to attend, send me an email and I'll send you the link when we send the invitation out, which will probably go out next week. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I would just like to say that my husband is a volunteer firefighter in Arlington, and he was so impressed with those things you have that dealt with the oil truck. He was there all day, all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
He was so impressed, and he tells me that very, very, very little oil actually went into our water stream thanks to the systems you guys have.
Tell your husband that that was all on Arlington Fire Department. They did a fantastic job before we ever arrived. I was on the scene. I was the first, because I live close by. I was the first hazmat technician there. And I was deeply impressed with what they did. And there was no spill, really, a very little spill. And that was due to the Arlington Fire Department. Very impressive response. They did a great job. And all we did, well, I shouldn't say all we did, but when we got there, all there was left to do for us, it was to pump. We have to drill holes and hot tap the tanks and pump the oil that in the damaged vehicle into a new vehicle. So all we did was to pump the oil, drill a few holes and pump the oil. But they did all the heavy work and really did a great job. So hats
Oh,
off
it's good
to
to
them.
hear. I will
And
pass
that's why
that along.
And that's why we do these trainings, just to refresh the fire departments on what to do when they get these kind of situations, hazmat situations, because the fire department is going to be there first. They're going to have to handle it before we get there. And, you're lucky, I mean, it takes us a half an hour, sometimes longer than that, to get equipment there. So it's really up to the fire departments to handle the hazardous material situation initially. So, yeah, they did a great job.
Oh, good. I will pass that along. Thank you again.
Yep.
Good job, Bob.
Mr. Chair, Mike Jones from Castle, and I have a question for Bob.
Mike?
Go ahead.
Bob, if you remember last March, there was a hazmat spill on Route 30 at the Irving Station.
Yep, I was there. Yep.
So, I don't know if all the municipalities know or fire departments know, and I didn't know if the question would be, does the hazmat team send out this type of information that on those hazmat spills by statute, the fire departments can bill for the time and equipment on those scenes. And in particular, that one in Castleton, Justin Shareko, one of our police officers, does the billing for that. And we just got confirmation from the company that they're going to pay that $15,262 for the time and efforts of Pulteney Fire Department. I think Hubbardton was there, Castleton, and maybe Fairhaven. And our DPW, that time got billed, so they've agreed to pay that $15,000. So there is a way to recover costs for a fire department. I'm just not sure how widely disseminated that is.
Whenever we do these trainings, especially when we do product control training, we mention that. And of course, at the scene, we tell all the fire departments, as we did that day. I remember that day we told all the fire departments, when we get to a scene like that, we say anything you used, anything you put down, all your time, keep track of it. And that gets almost always gets reimbursed by the company, or actually ends up being the company's insurance company that does it. But yeah, we tell everybody, Mike, when we get to a scene like that, that they can be reimbursed for that. And it's a good point that you mention it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all the hazmat team does as well.
Thanks for mentioning that. Thank you.
Outstanding, Bob. You always do an excellent job. Really appreciate it. And then you go to my, and then go to my threat hazard identification assessment, stakeholders prepared to support. We kind of been throwing this around. It's not as centralized as we thought it was. So I know that Bill Jones is the rep per se for the state, right? On this. And he sent out some surveys, information out, and I don't know how many you got back.
So I went off from some prior information.
Yeah.
And we did answer the survey.
Okay, outstanding.
Yep.
Outstanding. So that's more informational that goes out. We gather the information from the survey, and then we let the state know about it and how prepared we are in reference to that threat hazard identification assessment piece. All right, any questions on that? Okay, let's Judy Frazier. She's not here. So she's doing the integrated planning preparedness workshop, which I had no information on.
I will tell you on behalf of VEM that Judy is participating in the IPP. She accepted the invite from VEM, so
good.
She will be attending that.
Okay, awesome.
Remind us of the date of that.
Woo! If you give me a minute, I will tell you when that is. You can keep moving forward. I got to look it up.
So as Bill Jones is looking up that information for are there any questions on what we've covered so far? Yes.
The one thing, if anybody ever has any problems getting repaid by the insurance companies, I'm getting pretty good at it. State Farm and Allstate have been historically terrible. They fought tooth and nail. I just got out of a conference call last week with the AG's office and banking and insurance. We had a mediation conference call. And ultimately the decision of the insurance company, after I badgered them enough, is they paid for our costs, our labor, our trucks, the hose that was damaged, and then interest, because they have been playing the game for over a year and a half. So it is possible to win. Patrick helped me a lot on just setting it up. I've had to do it twice with these companies before. They didn't pay.
What incident was that though? Was that
the flying wrench? It was a fire down in Rutland Town, where they had a lot of oil coming out of the building, battery acid, and we were first on the scene. We laid our hose down. It was already contaminated, so we had all the other fire departments use our stuff, and it was like 14 pieces of hose, and they kept saying they didn't have to. And that Reclamation Act is key, because that would have devastated my budget, because we can't afford that.
Sure. Can I ask a question on that? That Reclamation Act, is that specific to fire?
It is currently, there has been talk about other, parts of the municipalities being able to recover, but it was written specifically for fire departments.
Anybody hear that?
Yeah.
Did y'all hear what he's talking about, Reclamation Act?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
have
right,
that,
thanks.
I have that information.
Yes, Bill Jones, go ahead.
So that meeting, the workshop is scheduled for June 3rd in a Microsoft Teams meeting from 1 to 3:30 PM in the afternoon.
Is that gonna go out?
It's already gone out. The people that needed to respond to that.
Did I need to respond to it?
Nope.
Okay.
Judy being the representative accepted and
Okay, that's hers. That's right.
Yep.
Take that back. Okay, good. All right, let's talk about the RMC organizational tasks. So in renewal for participants, so the complete dedicated officials resource signature paper as part of the LEMP update. The towns that are here are represented. How have you got your whole public works mutual aid agreements up to speed? Are they?
Bill can take this part over. I normally do the organizational tasks.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Sorry.
So this particular thing, Maggie and I are working on this. We're gonna go ahead and renew it. And we will be reaching out to the towns to get updated information on their public works agreements. I know prior to this meeting, I discussed it with Joel in length today.
Okay.
They responded to Mount Holly. And it worked out very well. So it's good. A lot of the fire departments do this already. And it's just something that the public works departments do now. And they're gonna try to keep updated with that. I will tell you that it's not a requirement of the state of Vermont. It is something that the Rutland Planning Commission does. And with my position being that it is, I will support Maggie to make sure that we can continue this, but it is not mandated by the state of Vermont, so.
That's kind of surprising. They just keep it more local than anything.
Yeah,
Anything else you want to add on to that? Anything else?
Hey, Chief,
Yes.
it's Mike Jones again. Sorry. Just want, Joel from Pulteney, reached out to me and our highway foreman regarding radio frequencies. And at first I was a little concerned on sharing a frequency, but after talking with Joel, it's not really sharing. It's a separate frequency they're going to have, because we use a different, it's not a VHF radio that like the fire departments use, or the UHF like the police are using. It's a separate repeater system off from Grandpa's Knob. And now when they have that stuff in there, not only for their public works stuff that they can communicate, but also we use it in Castleton for emergency management and emergency response. So the police, fire, and the highway crew and the EOC can all talk over a common radio, because we can't share police frequencies and stuff like that. So thanks to Joel for reaching out, because that's going to give us better interagency interoperability. And I'm not sure if any other towns are using that radio system, but it might be worth looking into if other our neighboring towns want to get on board with that. And I will add it into the LEMP this year as well.
Okay. Excellent. You guys want to add anything more to this?
no, stay tuned. Stay tuned. We'll be following up.
Okay.
We're gonna keep our VHF and supplement it with digital, due to our lack of ability to reach each other with VHF currently in town. We demoed out digital a few weeks ago, or actually I guess it was a little over a month ago, from Adirondack two-way radio, and it was fantastic. And upon the discussion with Adirondack two-way radio, we decided we want to keep VHF because Pulteney Fire operates on that. So that gives us that, what Mike was talking about, interagency operability, but also allows us to communicate with Castleton and with Betcha Transit if the buses need some sort of assistance or whatever. But so,
How do you guys do it in the city? Interagency.
I mean, basically, we run our calls back to central dispatch, they do our dispatch. Okay.
Okay, that's a very good system, right? In Point Central where
It's a great system.
you break out of the city. Joel and I are both dispatching out of a company in New York State.
Yeah.
You know, so we're going across the river to get dispatch information.
All right, if you're following the regional dispatch discussion, I know that they just did a proposal to the legislature. Take that as a no.
Haven't heard anything.
Lately.
Yeah,
They've been
they
dragging this on
canceled
for
that.
4 years.
Yeah, the last.
Their meeting, they just met today.
Yeah.
Again, but
Yeah, the meeting that was supposed to happen for the Rutland County Fire Mutual Aid, so they would get that update, was canceled, fortunately, like last week.
okay, so I did see, I didn't care as much about what they're doing right now because it's all about fire trucks and shit, but they were talking about Addison County specifically, and they have a company that did sort of a testing of, they moved some repeaters around or where they have it pretty much all covered. And I think that maybe it's going to be Windsor or Wyndham is going to be a test site. But we'll see. Again, it's all going to come down to billing at the end of the day of how does the state pay for it. This is the same conversation, at least for 10 years, because I was in this conversation after the state police kind of went away from the PSET. You know, they lost, you know, they moved to Westminster and all that. But they are looking to push control back locally again. And again, you know, how do you pay for it? I know in Rutland County, the city has no appetite to pay an additional tax so that surrounding towns can afford a dispatch center when we already dispatch for ourselves. My dispatch center costs me about $1 million a year. We're not asking anybody else to pay for it. So I don't know what they're going to do.
I have no idea.
But I am, if you're interested and you want to talk to me and you're fire EMS, I'm looking for ways to enterprise and to go into contract if you're not happy with what you're getting from the state. So
I did actually send you Mark's contact. Did you get it?
No.
I just sent it as like.
I can check. Okay.
Yeah, and it was a conversation that Rutland County Fire Mutual Aid had a number of years ago, Matt and the chief at the time, the police department, Bob Schlachter, and myself and Mike Skaza. But there was a hesitancy for the mutual aid group to make a commit, and it would be foolish for the city to step up and have to start doing the research to find out they would back away later. But I mean, I would highly recommend, and I have at the other meetings, that we seriously look at, you know, tapping into this resource, because you hear the dispatch, it's solid. I mean, we get more information from the city PD than we ever did from the state. I don't need to bash the state, but it's a disappointing disaster when, you know, it was 14 minutes from when the call was placed for us to respond mutual aid. 14 minutes.
That's
They
a
were
long
waiting on the scene before we got the call. That's ridiculous.
Well, there's a lot that. Yes, who was it? Nothing, okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, the RMC co-ed update. Eric?
Yep, that's me. So yeah, so we had our Southeast sub-region meeting. So that was in Wallingford, and we had Wallingford, Clarendon, Tinmouth, Shrewsbury, and Mount Holly in attendance, which was fantastic. Honestly, it was another fantastic sub-region meeting. It was a 3rd out of 6. And I'm just really absolutely super incredibly jazzed about how well these discussions are going. And how much I think, you know, the towns are kind of, you know, hopefully taking out of these discussions with their own action items, and the things that we're getting sort of, you know, Bill, Maggie, and I, you know, and Jan are getting out of these conversations and sort of being able to do after action reports and stuff like that. So I believe Maggie did send out the after action report for our southeast subregion here recently. And it was a lot of similar things that we were seeing in the first two. And a lot of good stuff came out of that new module 3 that we kind of added in after our first one with Jan and Chittenden and them. So I'm not going to go through everything because that would take us an hour, and you don't want to sit here for all of that. But I will say it was a lot of things around resources. It was a lot of things around sheltering. Those are some of the needs. And I do want to say we did have a shelter fundamental training with the Red Cross a couple of weeks ago. We did have several towns there. I'm looking at you, Ray, that did actually go through that training with the Red Cross and the Medical Reserve Corps. So I think there is a lot of interest in this in Rutland County, and I think we, are ahead of the game in a lot of ways, and I think we're doing some pretty cool, innovative stuff. But yeah, as you can see there, there's a lot of the standardization of stuff, especially documentation, MOUs, all that kind of, fun stuff there, and is now with kind of becoming the tagline for our subregion meetings, which is that handshakes are not reimbursable by FEMA. So we just got to get these things written out. And I think that's pretty, one of the more important things that we're kind of finding here. Also, communication and coordination of resources between towns within the subregion. I think that's another area. Communications is always one of the first things that kind of gets to be troublesome during response efforts. And so looking at different ways that we can kind of sort of shore that up, and like how can we actually come together and sort of talk about things. A couple of new things that came out of the Southeast subregion discussion were things like, looking at how can we set up situational reports or anything like that, meetings while we're in response. So all of the towns in the subregions are really aware of what's going on. So that way they can know if they're sort of neighboring towns, if they're good to go, they're okay, they're stable, what kind of resources can they then be able to share out, and then vice versa, what towns might not be stable and what resources they might need. And so looking at sort of that as a possible thing, that subregion towns can work on as well. And, a lot of the same things that all of our towns are kind of dealing with, it's a lot of capacity, it's a lot of bench depth, it's a lot of volunteers, doing stuff. We also found some barriers to sort of radio and sort of non-internet based communication. So everyone, has Facebooks, everyone has town websites. But what are we doing if the internet's down or power's out and stuff like that? And then really just sort of staging the resources that is either there. So we've got a lot of like trucks, we've got a lot of infrastructure, we've got the DPW mutual aid agreement, that kind of stuff. And so looking at how can we figure out where resources need to be, either kind of in the preparedness phase or in those early stages of response and stuff like that. So a lot of the same stuff we're seeing. And honestly, Bob, your light's going out, cracking me up every time.
We gotta keep moving around.
Yeah. And so, so I think, it was really, really good. And I think we, it was just another fantastic conversation. So I think what I will say kind of go into now is a little bit more of what's going on in the future. So as it says there in that third spot, so we're going to do the Southwest discussion, subregion discussion in Poultney on May 6th. And so we're going to, keep these rolling, keep these kind of coming in, because we're waiting to do that improvement plan until we get information from all 6 subregions, because we think then that a lot of these things we're seeing are most of the towns are going to have very similar needs. And so we don't have to duplicate our efforts 6 different times and then do it again for everybody. So we May 6th, we're going to do that one. This is for you, Bob. We are looking at possibly, hopefully doing the South subregion. So that would be you there in Paulette. We'll do it there in Paulette on August 5th is what we're aiming for. But we'll connect with you here, next month or so. To kind of start pinning out that plan. And then our big boy, our Rutland City, what I call the Rutland City metropolitan area, our central subregion, we're eyeing October 7th for that one. probably going to be at the hospital. Actually, not probably. I'm talking with Jeremy Carrera over there, and hopefully getting the Leahy Center locked down to have that conversation at the hospital. So, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I know we've got some other things kind of we're working on in the pipeline, but I don't think they're ready to kind of come out just yet. Yeah, we got to save some stuff for the next season of Subregion TV. So, Maggie, do you have anything you wanted to add, or Bob, Bill?
Okay.
How about that packet I made up last week?
That's kind of where I was going with the second season of Subregion TV, but we can certainly talk about it.
I have copies printed here in the room, so yes.
Oh, well, perfect. So yeah, so one thing, Maggie decided to go down a rabbit hole, and I think it was a fantastic rabbit hole, which was to kind of bring together and coalesce all of the sort of, after action report information for the first three subregions into a much more easily handleable, document than just, having to go through a 20-page AAR. So yeah, so she brought a lot of that sort of, all into one easier to use report. We're kind of looking at that as kind of a mid-project update for everybody as we continue on, because we probably won't be finished and sort of releasing any sort of improvement plan or anything like that until 27. So this will give kind of everyone an idea of what's been going on, and sort of hopefully some things that everyone can take out of that and sort of put with some of the action items that hopefully the towns have been bringing out from these discussions, or give you a preview of what might be coming down the road.
So I got a question, Eric.
Yeah.
Maggie, what's the common denominator the people are struggling with the most? Talking about setting up their plans or communicating, getting resources. Is there a common denominator? Is it just people?
I would say there's several common denominators, but I think the main ones are typically your typical ones. Communication, that's always kind of a big one. Resource, not just staging, but resource sort of coordination. So right now it's a lot of sort of, towns are doing their thing. They've got their stuff. They're responding. They're calling the state and sort of, that kind of stuff. And so it's a little bit of like, okay, how can we look at our neighboring towns and sort of work in a little bit more of that neighbor helping neighbor coordinated fashion for resources. And then some of it is a little bit of uneven sort of EOC activation, and documentation for that. So those are kind of the main ones that we're seeing. I know Bill and Maggie can add to this, and Jan, honestly, if you want to add anything as well, because Jan was there in Wallingford for our last one, being a fantastic evaluator.
I think the one thing that I've picked up on is towns trying to decide if you've got someone that is wearing multiple hats during the event, they got to choose which hat they're going to have on. And if they're the designee, the EMD or the MC, and they're also fire or public works or whatever role they're choosing, they've got to have backfill for that role. That seems to have come up in several of our sessions.
Okay, that's good. I could figure out.
Chronic Vermont problem.
Exactly, Bob. So that's kind of, I think, one of the stronger themes coming out of these sub-region meetings is like, how can now we look at towns being able to assist others? Because we've heard of things of, some of the larger towns, they do have more people, but they only have a set number of people. And, they're going to have, still being responding. And it might be, another thing in Vermont, which is that not every town is going to be affected in the same way. There might be some towns that don't get affected whatsoever. And so is there a way for those neighboring towns in that subregion to support some of the more affected towns and being able to use that in sort of resources, people, places, or things? So.
Good. Thank you, Eric.
Of course. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns?
No, I think we're good there.
Sounds good.
All right, Bill, you're up.
Bill,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So yeah, the 2026 limp season is in swing. So you'll be hearing from me as your emergency management directors. I'll be reaching out. Hopefully can come and visit. If not, there are really no changes to the local emergency management plans. So please, the deadline is June 1st, but if you get them approved, and get them into me, that would be great. And, Jan was one of my first ones to meet with. So I'll be on the road and not only in Rutland County, but I also, have Bennington County. So please, please, please get them to me as soon as you can. Even if we don't get a chance to meet face to face, but, you'll be hearing from me soon. Thank you.
Jan set the standard.
Actually, all we did was
Almost done.
chat.
Oh, that's all right. That's good. All right, EMPG program funding update?
Yes. As you probably all, when I got here to the meeting, it looks like the SAVE Act was, not voted again today. So there is no FEMA right now. So the EMPG comes from FEMA. The state can't even go on FEMA Go and request anything because it's shut down. So that's where we are with the federal government right now. So, having these discussions, like, this builds off what Eric was doing, is, being, we're gonna have to depend on ourselves a lot more, I think, moving forward, so. But that's where we are with the MPG right now. There is no funding to grab a hold of.
So as I've expressed in the past, there's no funding for me at the moment for EMPG stuff, except for whatever I can keep on life support through state. That's why I'm here tonight, but not actually facilitating the meeting. And Bill, your work is still good to go though. You're still like.
That is correct. The director of emergency management we are moving forward. The path is to stay the course.
All right. Any questions about anything we've covered? If not, the next meeting is gonna be June 17th, 2026 at 5:30 here. Maggie? Here? Okay. All right.
Gonna make a motion.
If I could just take the quick, this is Bob Morlino. Matt Prouty, congratulations on your appointment. They're
Thanks,
lucky
Bob.
to have you.
You also,
We knew it was gonna
it
happen.
was well overdue. They always had you placed here or placed there
Yeah.
and kind of skipping over you. It's just,
Old news now. Now he's got it, so
yeah.
he'll be fine. He'll do a great job. No question about it. All right, motion that we have the meeting set at June 17th, 2026, 5:30 PM.
Oh no, that's that. We just need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, okay, well, okay. Who wants a motion to adjourn? Bill Lovett, second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right. We are finished. Thank you for all coming.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Happy one season.
You're getting older.
Joel, is that you getting called with that?
Must have set a planning bill for you.
How you doing?
Okay. Must